You know what, I think it might be one of the most caring things that one person can do for another person.
Meet Dr. Carolyn von Rosenberg and her son Marcus.
He is a tough cookie.
Tough indeed, because behind this incredible smile, Marcus has endured frequent hospitalizations, chemotherapy, and surgery.
I had a wonderful surprise pregnancy, a wonderful birth. Everything went according to plan. Everything was paid for by insurance. But then the pediatrician found what she thought was an enlarged kidney in his abdomen when she did his first exam. Where after 10 days of sitting there and doing various tests, we found that he had a neoblastoma, which is a malignant childhood cancer.
At first, the doctor was hopeful the disease would regress on its own, but it did not. So it became an emergency to shrink the tumor. Still only months old, Marcus received chemotherapy 3 days a week for several months. While the prognosis looked promising, the size of the tumor did not change. Surgery was the next step.
In January, they decided to remove the tumor, which still had not shrunk very much. And we thought we were home free, but 2 days later, he spiked a big fever, he became septic, and having no white count to begin with, that was obviously not a good thing, and we spent another 3 weeks in the hospital. But that was the end of it. We're still doing CT scans every 6 months. We got 2 more to go. But he survived it all, and here we are.
Carolyn said that she is so fortunate that since college, she has had insurance through the AVMA, Group Health Life Insurance Trust. For her family, the coverage, assistance, and advice have proven invaluable.
You don't realize until you have something that really requires major medical bills. I think without insurance, my medical bills were over $200,000. And you don't realize, first of all, how complicated it gets.
Thankfully, Marcus and his mother are now full of smiles. Dr. Marjorie Miller also smiles, in spite of years of pain. In 2007, 2 accidents happened that would change the path of her life.
And the floor sample fell, broke my nose, and gave me a concussion. And I continued to make all sorts of errors. I was diagnosed by the neurologist as a concussion, told not to work, take it easy. I called again because I kept making mistakes. Something felt totally wrong, and they couldn't get me in. And 2 days later, I was in an explosion and suffered 3rd-degree burns over a third of my body and was in the burn unit.
Marjorie knows she is getting better, but she's not been able to work since the accidents.
I mean, I'm a single mom with 2 kids, and I wanted to grow small. I was more of a boutique practice. I was able to balance the roles of mother, veterinary practitioner, and in addition to having some time for myself. Since the accident, I don't think I do any of those very well. Just the daily tasks of living are overwhelming.
At this point, her prognosis for recovery and her return to work are unknown.
My whole life has changed. I will never be the person that I was. And the things that I think I know, I'm never certain of. The hardest thing in the world is to plan for the unplannable. When you work with animals, you're going to get hurt. So you need to know that you have the security that this disability will afford. Again, that's where the AVMA Trust has been so helpful in helping me navigate the medical and financial parts of this. And the thing to remember is you need to get all these things in place before something happens. After the fact is too late.
Debbie and Andy Upham started their life together while she worked as a veterinarian in a small animal clinic right out of college.
We're really looking forward to a future of purchasing the clinic and actually running it. Our family was growing. We were making plans. In 2007, she noticed she had a small bump on her left leg. We went through the summer, and as I kept looking at it in the summertime, it looked to me like it was getting bigger as opposed to going away. And finally, in the fall of 2007, she went in and had an MRI done on her leg, at which time they found out she had a sarcoma that had been growing there.
The tumor was removed, followed by 30 radiation treatments. Debbie's future looked good, but things changed quickly.
And unfortunately, within a month, she was having severe back pain, and when she went back in for another checkup, they found that actually cancer had spread within her bone marrow, a place they had not looked, and within a month after that, she was dead. We had no idea that cancer would be getting us, but everybody is vulnerable to something, and none of us can really know what that something is.
Today, Andy's daughter is 5. She wants to be a gymnast, and his 8-year-old son is a Cub Scout. Andy's advice is simple: prepare early.
To be blunt, get life insurance. I mean, get insurance, get coverage, talk to your agent. Don't think it can't happen to you. It does happen, and you know, of all the people in the world, I never would have dreamed it would have happened to my wife. Her entire practice, I was blogging throughout her illness, and I was getting thousands and thousands of well wishes from people that just could not believe that this was happening to their doctor, to their strong person that they went to for advice, the person that was able to always fix and heal their animals, and when she couldn't, she was there to be, you know, empathetic and sharing with them through their grief. And suddenly I had all these well wishers, you know, sharing that with me and being there for me. And you know, when I was a student, when she was a student, we never would have dreamed anything like that could have happened. So my greatest advice would be, it's not that expensive. Get it and make your life comfortable that you don't have to worry about it in the future.
When I was in college, both my parents had long-term cancer illnesses. And my mother passed away when I was 21, my father when I was 23, and I ended up needing to look for insurance at that age. I really had no idea that I was going to need to get insurance. Who thinks of that? It's just always been taken care of. Somebody else always was in charge of it.
Virginia Johnson is a student representative of the AVMA GHLIT at the University of Missouri College of Veterinary Medicine.
I think that this profession picked me out of circumstance, but it came along at exactly the right time for me to really give it a look as an opportunity for me and an opportunity for me to help somebody else that might be in my same kind of situation.
As you have seen, it can happen to you or to your loved ones. A debilitating illness of a newborn, a devastating accident, even the death of a spouse. The only way to plan the unplannable is to get started before you finish school.
Being prepared just simply means that you do not have to think about these things when you need them. When you need them, they're already in place.
By acting early, you can take some control. After all, it's real life. It's your life.
We never know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis. We think we're invincible. We think we can overcome any situation, but we're human.